My mic was muted. Sorry. So you missed all that. What's going on? Facebook and YouTube Live. Thanks for joining us here on an episode of On Another Line Live, which is taking place here in my On Another Line studio, aka my basement. Hey, Adam, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining tonight. We're going to be talking about some of my favorite soft plastics that I never leave home without. Hey, Keith, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it makes a little more sense when I actually unmute the mic. You know, I'm a little dense up here sometimes. I'm glad I seen this big giant thing here on the screen that says, "Hey, dummy, your mic is muted." So anyway, long story short, welcome back to another episode of On Another Line Live. I have some really cool information to share with you guys today. I am patiently waiting for Olatech to actually drop the video of the year contest videos. I submitted 2 videos. One was an edited video. Hey, Andrew, what's up, buddy? I got your message the other day about the giveaway. The giveaway is going to actually start after this live show. I'll tag you in it just so you can get in on it. I'll be giving away a lure lock box, some JB's fish sauce, a few other things, some jigs and stuff that I hand pour, so definitely stay tuned with that. But what I was going to say is that I submitted 2 videos for the Olatech Video of the Year contest, and it was actually, I think you had to submit before last, I think it was Sunday, I think, was the end date. They've been working diligently, I guess, over there to get some things done. And I got a text message from Christian Corley from Olatech today. The 2 videos I submitted was the year-end video I showed you guys last week, which is the edited version, and I also submitted a short clip of Brandon Buckner and I catching a 6-pounder at a lake near his house around his area, which was a raw video, which I didn't edit. It's just a clip that was taken off their Olatech. And I actually got a text message from here today saying that both of my videos finished in the top 6 of those videos. So I'm super proud about that. So what happens now is that they'll post these videos on their social media links or on their sites, and there's 4 votes total. One of them is the popularity contest vote, where you guys hopefully will go over there and like my video and share it if you would. And it's not up yet, so I'll be sharing that as we go on. And that is one part of it. There are 3 other votes that the Olatech staff or their Video of the Year committee has. So one vote would be for, the most likes on social media, and then they get 3 votes. So I have a potential to win a ton of cash and prizes through Olatech, which I'm super proud about. I've built the video that I showed you guys last week that I fell in love with. It was one of the greatest videos I think I've ever edited, and it all came from the 2021 fishing season, which was really cool. But the video of the year contest, I'm looking through their website here to dig through it. So the top 6 are it's narrowed down to the top 6 by them, which has already been done. So both of my videos are in top 6 of both of the categories, which is amazing. You guys will vote for your favorites of those videos, and that will be 1/4 of the vote, and then they'll get 3/4 of the vote will be their committee. So first place for both of them is $500 in Olatech bucks, which means I can get some more Olatech products. I'm thinking about if I get another Olatech power stick, trying to give it away to you guys out there because I already have 2 of them, which would be amazing. A shirt and a hat. Second place is $100 Olatech bucks, a shirt and a hat. $50 is third place, shirt and hat. Plus, if you finish first place in any of those categories and you have what they call the Olatech photo bomb, which is basically showing any Olatech product in the video, which one of mine does, you get an extra $250 cash, which is pretty amazing. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know when they'll be posting the videos. Sometime this evening, I would imagine soon. I would say they're like a couple hours behind, so I imagine probably 9 o'clock tonight you'll see that hit. You guys will see me talking about it on my social media. I'm going to be making a YouTube video about it. If you don't follow my TikTok, which is the same username at OnAnotherLine, I'd appreciate you going and like that as well. Another thing is, if you're following me right now on YouTube, is I want to get your opinion on something. Is they have a shorts, YouTube shorts thing now, and it's kind of like TikTok or Vine or Instagram Reels. But I hate the fact that it's not separate from YouTube. If I upload something to the Reels section, it goes to my YouTube channel, which is okay, but like if I feel like that if I start posting these short videos on my YouTube channel, people that are subscribed for these, really in-depth videos of me fishing and cleaning reels and all that stuff will get kind of turned off and actually will, kind of, I guess, unsubscribe, which I don't want to see happen. So what's your guys' thoughts on that? Do you like the shorts thing? Is it something that you don't mind me posting a lot of videos to? Because I almost feel like it's like TikTok again, or like Vine or something that just gives you away. And it's set up similarly. If you've never been on YouTube Shorts, so you basically can just scroll, infinitely. But the reason I like it as a YouTube content creator is that there's a subscribe button right on that thing. So if you see like 10 seconds of a video clip of me catching a 5-pounder and you're like, hey, I like that, you hit subscribe, it subscribes them directly to my YouTube channel, which is big. So, I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, long story short, we're going to talk about some baits that I never leave home without on the soft plastic side of things. I have a video uploading right now as I'm talking to you live. It's 15% uploaded right now to YouTube. And it's how to clean a Shimano Corrado I-Series reel, which is here. If you have any Shimano reel, especially this Corrado I-Series, which is an older reel now, you can tell it's an I-Series. It says Corrado right here on the top of the level line. But I did a video about an hour ago taking this thing totally apart and actually cleaning it how I do. I am not a professional. This is no way associated with Shimano. They've not taught me how to do this. If you screw up your reel, that's on you. I've done it enough that I feel like that I'm able to teach you in a way that you're not going to lose any parts or work on it. Especially that reel is fairly easy to take it apart. Next video you guys are going to see as far as reel cleaning is going to be a spinning reel. I'm not going to clean this Vanford. This Vanford is brand spanking new. It's literally had about 5 trips on it total. So I'm not doing that. I'll get out some of my old my older, let's see, I guess probably a Stratic CI4, probably what you see me clean on that. Good news, do have a brand new to me truck, which I am all but absolutely enthralled with. You guys have saw it. If you guys are following my pages, probably saw it on Facebook. If you watched the video there the other day, I'll pull up another video or photo of it here. Let's see here. Let's see if I can share something here. Just share it on Facebook here. So you can see here, got some comments over on the side, but this is a new to me 2020 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 High Country Edition. 23,020 miles when I bought it. Super glad to be out of the Ram. I just had to spend another $750 on the Ram before I traded it in to get a glow plug fixed, which everything was fixed right. Everything was running fine. I didn't have any issues with the Ram. It just was time for it to go. Yeah, no, Andrew, 100%, man. If you, I'm sure you know the saga of the Dodge, right? So under warranty and throughout me fixing stuff on it, it was about $23,000 worth of parts and labor that was on that truck in 3 years. I didn't have to spend all that money. I probably had about $2,000 in it, probably over the life of the owning the truck. As I mentioned before, I will not own anything that has a farm animal on the hood anymore. But I am super proud about having the ability to pick up this new Silverado. Hey, Larry Slack, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you here with us tonight. But I am super proud about buying this truck, and it's none other than thanks to the good job that I have and people like you guys out there supporting my channel. It means so much to me. I don't get rich on YouTube, guys. It does allow me to fish a little bit here and there. But the goal of this year is to get to 4,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping to do that sooner than later. I do have something in the works coming up very, very soon. I am going to be able to do an angler challenge on the Angler app, which you guys will be able to get on there and do the challenge as well. It's kind of like I don't know what it's going to be. It'll be some like catching so many fish in a week or a month. Actually, it'll be a month. And you will then unlock something. And I'm going to work with the folks at Lure Lock. I haven't talked to Glenn Walker, but I'm going to talk to Glenn tomorrow. Actually, probably email him after I get off here and see what he thinks about it. But I'm going to try to. My goal is to get Lure Lock to allow them to do like 20% off of Lure Lock on their website. Should you complete the challenge? By the way, the Angler app's free. If you're not running the Angler app, you should do so. And also add me as a friend on Angler. But that's coming up. Going to the Bassmaster Classic here in just a few short weeks. If you guys are going to be down there, let me know. I would love to hang out with you guys and meet you guys there, especially at the expos. I will be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leaving Monday. Super pumped up. Actually, I'm staying in an Airbnb downtown, about a mile from the Bon Secours Wellness Center. So hopefully we'll be able to walk down there if it's nicer than it is here. Just got a big snowstorm. Snow's melting here in Ohio, but it looks like we got 3 to 5 more inches coming tomorrow night. So, hey, Mark. So let's preface this by saying, as if you bought a Ram and it either has a Cummins or it has their gas engine in it, I think you're fine. My truck had an Eco diesel in it, which is a 6-cylinder. Actually designed by Fiat Fiat. It was a Fiat motor, which owns Dodge, FCA, Fiat Chrysler. But it was a Fiat motor. It was actually originally designed by GM, I think, and I think they saw the writing on the wall. I'm not sure what happened there, but Fiat ended up buying the engine off of them. So I bought the truck used. It was a 2014 Dodge Ram Eco Diesel. It was a Laramie Limited, which is the highest, package that they offer in that truck. Super nice. I love the truck. Fell in love with it instantaneously. Drove it home. A week later, started getting a lot of check engine lights and things. And turns out there was a huge EPA lawsuit talking about a lot of parts and stuff that was on there, including what's known as an EGR cooler. EGR cooler is just like a jacket that goes around what's known as a diffuser tube. So just to break it down for you, emissions wise, when your engine gets so hot, what happens is there's a thing called an EGR, which is an engine gas recirculation. What happens is it opens up and allows some of the diesel exhaust to go back through the intake and get reburnt. So it actually burns some of the soot and stuff off there. Well, there's a water jacket around that called an EGR cooler, which basically just like a shroud or like a radiator that shrouds that diffuser tube. Well, the EGR cooler is 100% going to leak on all of those things, and there was a huge lawsuit and all that stuff. Well, mine had been leaking for months and months and months, and caused all kind of crazy issues. Like they ended up having to replace the EGR cooler twice, the turbo once, the down tube once. They had to replace the diesel exhaust or the DEF tank and the DEF pump. They replaced the DPF, the diesel particulate filter. They replaced basically from the turbo all the way back through the exhaust once, which was almost $9,000 parts and labor on its own. So if I were you, like I said, man, if you have a Cummins or the gas engine, I think you're fine. if it is an eco diesel and the new, I don't know, like I said, man, my cousin Josh has an eco diesel. He's had nothing but good luck with this. I just got a lemon. There's no doubt about it. I just got tired of it. And one time it let me down. I was supposed to go on a trip to Lake St. Clair. Actually, I was going to Chickamauga, me and Misty, during spring break, and it was broke down. I couldn't go. I ended up losing like $700 on a reservation for a house, so I couldn't get anything done. It's just the way it was. But I don't know, man. I got a bad taste in my mouth as far as the Ram dealership goes. They didn't do a very good job of owning up to the stuff. But, like I said, I hope you have better luck with yours than I do. But again, so if you have so I think you're okay with that gas engine there. It's just it's the V6 eco diesel that you have to watch out for. They put them in a Jeep Grand Cherokee. They put them in that truck. They also put them in something else, I'm thinking. But the eco diesel, as far as the first gen eco diesel, which came out in 2014, was nothing but trouble. It was absolutely horrendous. Andrew, I actually bought the Ram. I drove to Columbiana, Ohio to buy it, which was mistake number one. I'll never drive hours upon hours to buy a truck because dealers in the area hardly would even service it because it wasn't purchased there, which I get, whatever. It's all good. But they did eventually service it. They ended up making a pile of money because it was junk. Fiat Chrysler was paying them like crazy to replace all the stuff on it. But a lot of people are willing to help you out more in the area if you buy your vehicle locally. I actually bought my Silverado from Glockner in Portsmouth, and again, I bought the sales rep was Dylan Reeder. He everything I asked, he did. They gave me what I wanted for my truck. Gave me what I thought was a good deal on my truck, the new truck. Got my payment where it needed to be. I got an excellent interest rate. I think my interest rate was like 3.01%, which is amazing. So it all worked out. Got a new truck. Love it. But with that being said, if you guys are going to be down at the Bassmaster Classic in Greenville, South Carolina here in March, 4th? Let me make sure that's right. It's March 4th, 5th, and 6th. I will be there 4th, 5th, 6th, coming home on the 7th. I'd love to be able to meet you guys, hang out at the expo or what have you. I'll be at the expo every day. Be bopping around. If you see me, say, hey, what's up? I would love to see you. But with that being said, Bassmaster Classic coming up. See you then. But let's talk about why you guys are here. Let's talk about how to catch some more fish. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite baits that I use in and every time that I'm out on the water, basically. And we're going to talk about some new baits that I picked up this year that you're going to want to learn about, especially if you throw these types of baits. First off, let's talk about finesse stuff. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the Ned Rig. Really tough to beat a Ned Rig worm or a TRD worm from Z-Man, but I did start learning that I started throwing a lot more of the Yammy fish, which was a Jackal bait. But on the side of finesse things, I started throwing a drop shot a lot this year. One, because I fished way up north a lot. I fished St. Clair, Erie. I fished a lot of different places up that way, a bunch. I think I fished at St. Clair like 5 times this year, which is the most I'd ever traveled up there. And I had a great time doing it. But when you're up there fishing for those bronze backs, it's tough that, you pretty much are going to have a spinning rod in your hand all the time, especially if you're up there in the springtime, or especially if they're in the spawn stage of things, which they were when I was there most of the time. But I started picking up a drop shot, and I started throwing a drop shot not only on those beds for those fish, but I started throwing a drop shot all the time. And we talked about a drop shot on the last episode, and I told you having a longer leader than you think you need initially is going to be better off for you when you're fishing, because, again, especially if you're casting something. If you're video game fishing off the front of your boat and you're finding fish on your graph and you're dropping right off the front of your boat, maybe a 8 to 10 inch leader is exactly what you need if they're 8 to 10 inches off the bottom. However, again, if you make that cast, again, you think about this being where the fish is at and your boat being way out here, let's say this is 60 yards, you have to understand that there's going to be an angle here that's going to get more and more acute down on this end. There you go, a little geometry, and acute angle down here. It's going to get more acute as you go farther away from the fish. So if you have an 8-inch leader on your drop shot and you're 60 yards away from that fish, that bait is going to be all but on the bottom of the lake or river that you're fishing. So make sure that you have a decent enough leader if you're casting a drop shot. That is one of the main tips I can talk to you about. But I found 3 different baits this year that I've thrown on a drop shot that I absolutely love. I caught one of the biggest smallmouth I caught all year on a drop shot this year, which was about 4.5 pounds on a Jackal. This is an Shad. This is a 2.8 inch. If I can get one out of here, I'll show you. This color right here is called Blue Pearl Shad, 2.8 inch. This thing right here is fairly small, glitter on the bottom, really, really wiggly. Nose hook this thing on a drop shot. And I like it because it very little bit of movement in the rod or in the line even will cause this thing to flicker just like an actual minnow. I fell in love with this bait when I saw it on the Jackal, their catalog they get every year. I didn't even know this existed. This is called the Jackal Shad. Matter of fact, I don't know if anybody in this area actually carries these things. I know the Tackle Box does not. You have to order these things from, Tackle Warehouse or somewhere like that. But this is a Jackal Shad, 2.8 inch. And again, this is Blue Pearl Shad. So that's number one. The next bait that I threw all the time, you guys have heard a ton about this stuff right here. And that is the Berkeley Power Scent. I'm sorry, the Power Bait Max Scent Flatworms. These things right here, flat out catch them. Drop shot, a little longer than that Shad. This is actually a 3.6 inch, where these are 2.8. I did catch a lot of fish on both of these. I like this natural shad collar. I also like the goby collar in the flatworms. Flatworms right now are like gold. If you can find them, you better buy them. The Tackle Box has these things. They have a ton of these things. Looks like these are $6.99 a pack. They do come in bulk packs, and they're like $25 for a bulk pack, but it's like 3 of these packs together, or maybe 4. So you do have that option. But this is a Berkeley Power Bait Max Scent Flatworm. These things absolutely flat catch them. I don't care if it's largemouth or smallmouth on a drop shot. One of those 2 baits are going to be on there. And I throw other drop shot baits, guys. A Dream Shot, KVD Dream Shot is amazing too. That's pretty interesting. Mark says, watch Bass U. Hank Cherry was on. He chose his favorite cold water bait below 50 degrees. It was a 3-inch chartreuse silver flake grub on an 1/8 ounce dart head, I believe. That is very interesting, man. That's, Hank Cherry can absolutely smash him. He's not the back-to-back Bassmaster Classic champion for nothing. But I guarantee you, for some odd reason, that makes me think that he probably has the old jerk bait in his hand there too. But I see a lot of people throwing those grubs, especially in really, really cold weather. I mean, I guess it's imitating bait fish is what they're eating, really, obviously, I think. So that's pretty something I should throw in my arsenal for sure. Hey, Randy, thanks for joining tonight, man. Glad to see you. There you go. You're not going to go wrong with these things right here. Again, these are the flatworms. They come in a ton of different collars, done a different, I guess collars. I hit it on the nailhead when I said it the first time, but there's a lot of different things that you can get. There's a total black one I like. It kind of looks like a leech. They're really squishy. I will tell you one thing about Max Scent or Power Bait as a whole. Make sure you leave these things sealed up. Do not leave them in the sun. And if you leave one on a hook, you're going to be cutting that baby off with some pliers. They dry up and they turn into the god-awfulest, rock-solid, I don't know what it is, but it turns into something that you can't blow off there with dynamite. So make sure when at the end of the day that you take that off your hook, unless you want to have a crazy hard time getting it off there. So that's some other things there. A couple other baits that I use this year that I absolutely love. Fishing river systems in my area, the Ohio River mainly. This is a 4-inch dead ringer and June bug. This is a Zoom bait. Show you guys again, 4-inch dead ringer and June bug. This is a ring style worm going back to the 80s, 90s. 4-inch. I really like this thing. I really like this color. The bass in the Ohio River absolutely smashed this thing. Ended up winning a tournament one time. Dusty and I fished the Lewis County Lunkers out of the green up ramp there and a little sandy, and caught every fish on this bait. Every fish. We caught 3 keepers. All 3 of them came on this. I should have caught way more fish in that tournament, but I just couldn't keep them hooked up. I have no clue. I've never had that much problem with a Texas rig bait. But this thing right here, Texas rigged with a 3/16 ounce Eco Pro tungsten. Doesn't matter what style weight you use, guys. If you use tungsten, it's up to you. If you want to use lead, totally fine. I'm not one of those like extremists that's like, oh, tungsten. Trust me, I know tungsten is freaking outrageous. However, I do think there's an advantage. I feel like there's a little bit more sensitivity. It's obviously a lot more dense than lead, so you are going to feel a lot more on the bottom. If you're fishing grass and mud and sand and stuff, it's not going to matter. If you're fishing, wood and rocks and things that are more dense, you absolutely will tell a difference in tungsten. An average 3/16 ounce lead weight is probably, I don't know, a few pennies, whereas a 3/16 ounce tungsten is gonna be like $1.50 a piece, which is crazy. But Texas rig that baby up right there. It's gonna be something that you're gonna absolutely love. Another bait that I caught a lot of fish on today. I wish I was out today. We got 6 inches of snow outside. This is another power bait. This is a power worm. This is a 7-inch in pumpkin seed. I'll show you the bag here. Again, 7-inch power worm, pumpkin seed. Notice that you get 13 in this bad boy. 13 in this bag. I want to think these things are like $5.99. Pick these up at Walmart, local tackle shops. Tackle Box has them. This is a 7-inch power worm in pumpkin seed. It's kind of an orangish, like motor oil kind of color. They do have the power bait scent to them. If you know, you know. It's kind of god awful, but I'm sure that it does work. I feel like the power bait scent does actually do what they say. But this is one of my favorite baits I threw Texas rig this year, which was a 7-inch power worm pumpkin seed. I threw a lot of different colors in these things. I just started picking them up, but this is the first one I started throwing and started catching fish on them. You can go back and check out the Lewis County Lunkers video that I did with my dad. It was on Father's Day weekend. We went out and fished a tournament. It was a night tournament. I caught a couple fish on this thing, and it started my, this wormhole that I actually have dug into the power worm side of things. I really like it. Chigger crawl is another good power bait option as well. Let me grab some other stuff here. Absolutely, the most fish I caught all year was on this bait right here. This is a 4-inch Yum Dinger. Make sure I'm telling you this right. Yep, Yum 4 Dinger. Watermelon Red Flake. This is a 4-inch. It is a, this one's not open. I'm going to grab one that is open. This is a 4-inch Cinco. Again, watermelon, like a greenish collar, red flake. Probably pretty tough for you guys to see out there in 720 land. Wacky rig this thing. I am, again, not an extremist. I think that there are advantages of having a rubber O-ring here in the center that gives you the option to either, I think you're going to lose less baits this way. Because if you hook it through the center like I do with the hook, I take a 16th ounce Jackal tungsten wacky rig, which is weedless, on the top of it, and just hook it through here. And there are times when a fish throws it, it'll break this bait and it goes away. If you're fishing Yamamoto stuff and these things are like $7 a bag, sure, I'd probably use an O-ring, because the O-ring is going to save you some baits. But I feel like these things are at least half the cost of a Yamamoto. These things right now, I can tell you right now, $3.29 a bag, right there on the Tackle Box logo. $3.29 at the Tackle Box. I know Yamamotos are like $7 a bag. So the money you save on these things, as opposed to throwing the Gary Yamamoto stuff, it's going to save you some money in the long run. You could throw the O-ring if you wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just think it takes too long to rig when I can just throw a hook through it and be done with it. Next up, something else that I threw on either Nico rigged or wacky rigged a lot, and especially in dirty water, was none other than the Zoom Finesse Worm in Bourbon Blaze. This is a special edition collar, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the only place that you can get this through is Pittman Creek. So you're going to have somebody that's a Pittman Creek dealer. Again, this is just a really bright orange Finesse Worm. Wacky rigged it. I've thrown this on a shaky head. You do not want to throw this in super clear water unless you're fishing for smallmouth or something like this, because this thing absolutely will light up the water around it. I love this collar. Again, this is the Zoom Finesse Worm Bourbon Blaze Special Edition. Again, this came directly from, I'm pretty sure it's a Pittman Creek only collar, which Pittman Creek is a distributor, a wholesaler. So if you don't see any of those things, Tackle Box had a pile of them. I caught some fish on those things as well. By the way, guys, this episode of On Another Line Live brought to you by people just like you out there in Facebook and YouTube land, supporting my fish talk habit and allowing me to do what I love. So thank you guys very, very much. Again, this is going to be going out to you guys. I appreciate it. Next tip and different types of worms. You guys probably saw anyway, the video that I did with Glenn Walker from Lure Lock over the summer, where we did a challenge. Challenge was that we had to fish at our local lakes. He's from Minnesota, or out there in Wisconsin-ish area. And he is fishing in that area. I'm fishing here. He has a little better lakes than I do fish. So I think he fished Lake Minnetonka, I think is where he fished at. But we had a 5-fish challenge. And whoever caught the 5 biggest fish of the trip that they went, him on his end of the country and me on mine, won 2 of our favorite Lure Lock boxes from each other's arsenal. My 2 favorite boxes are the slim box, which is really thin, is where I have all my crankbaits, and this box right here, which is the Lure Lock deep box. As you can see, this thing is absolutely cram-packed with Jackal baits. You can see them all in there. And you may be thinking, first off, why do you have that many baits? Second off, why is it in that box? Well, let's tackle question number 1. Why do I have all these baits in here? Well, guys, I don't want to run out, for one. 2, there was a time where things were tough to get, and that's still today how it is. But there for a while during the 2020 COVID crazy stuff that we're still going through, we couldn't get these things. So I ordered a bunch of them. I ordered like 70 bags of my favorite worms, which we're going to talk about in just a second. They showed up, and like months and months later, they showed up at my door. And then about 3 weeks later, I get another box at my door, and it's my whole entire order that I had ordered before doubled up. So there's like 70 more bags. So I called Drew Sadler, my rep, and he was like, "Look, dude, that's not right." So he called the company, and the company's like, "Look, here's the deal. You got 2 options. You can send it back or you can buy it." And I'm like, man, that's crazy. I don't really want 140 bags of baits, but you can't get them. You can't get them. And so they made me a deal on the entire 140 bag lot of them. Long story short, I have 140-ish bags, or did have, of Jackal baits, and there's probably 70 of them or more in here. But the reason I like this box right here for this technique, and again, this is a Lure Lock deep box, not intended for this at all. This is just something that I do. In the bottom of this box, you can see it right there, that blue lining right there. That's what's known as Tacklogic gel. And if you know anything about Lure Lock boxes, you're going to know that that's the sticky material. And what happens is that these bags are actually stuck to that Tacklogic. So basically, I've turned this deep box into like a Rolodex of sorts. So I can just dig through here, find out what bait I want, open the bag, get the bait out, close the bag, and it's still stuck to that, the bottom there of the Lure Lock Tacklogic, which is a game changer for me. Instead of having boxes and boxes and boxes of these things, again, I can set this thing down. I can dig through the boxes. Let's say, for example, I'm looking for a flick shake here, and like there it is right there. That's the bait I want to talk about. I pull this out of here just because there's one left. So I would dig through this. I would open the bait. I would get the bait out of there. I would put the bag back in there, but we'll talk about that in just a second. But it gives me a way to keep all my Jackal baits whether that be flick shake, whether that be chunk crawls, whether that be cover crawls, whether that be swim baits, you name it, they're all in this box here. So I know if I need a Jackal bait like those eye shad, the reason those eye shad are out of there is because I keep my drop shot baits on my finesse baits into another container. But they're all in here. So again, if I need a bigger flick shake or a smaller flick shake or a Nico flick shake, which I'm going to show you guys in just a second, which is a little bit different of bait, they're all here in this box, and they're all easily accessible here within the same box. Again, it just takes up this much space as opposed to having like 3 or 4 of the Tupperware boxes that all of us have. Now, before I put this up, this is absolutely my go-to bait for anything that is. I'm throwing this bait if I'm not throwing a. Well, quitting this thing for you. I'm throwing this bait on a wacky rig or a shaky head 100% of the time. If I can't get them to eat this, then I'm going to throw the bigger Yum Dinger. But this thing right here is actually designed specifically for the actual the finesse technique of wacky rigging. It has a really weird squiggly action of it, so it's actually molded that way. So when you throw it, the water hits those things and it causes an erratic movement. Amazing for what they are when it comes to finesse fishing. Again, this is a Jackal Flick Shake 4.8 in Cola collar. Phenomenal. So let me grab another bait here that you guys probably are going to want to check out. I caught a lot of fish this year. Matter of fact, the biggest fish that I caught all year was on a Jackal chunk crawl. This is a 4-inch version of that. I'll pull this out of here. I actually it was actually a 3.5-inch version I caught this on. It was a blue and black one. This will maybe be a little easier for you guys to see. This is green pumpkin pepper. This is a 4-inch Jackal chunk crawl. One of my absolute favorite crawl style baits. If I'm not throwing this, I'm throwing a speed crawl made by Zoom. But I like this chunk crawl. I will tell you, if you're going to get into the Jackal chunk crawl market, start with a 3.5-inch version. I swear, I've not really caught many fish on these big 4-inch ones. I don't know what the difference is. Obviously, a 1/2 inch difference, but I catch way more fish on the 3-inch version. Let me see if I can find one over here so I can show you guys. It's a little different. There's a 6.8-inch flick shake as well. There's a 5/8. So there's a 3.5. So this is a different collar, but you can see that there's a substantial difference. This is this color right here is called SG crawl. Like it a lot. It's kind of like a green pumpkinish, maybe like a green pumpkin or a watermelon together. Watermelon and green pumpkin together. That is a Jackal chunk crawl, 3.5-inch. My favorite color in this is going to be blue and black, or it's going to be watermelon. I think it's watermelon pepper. I think it's what it's called. I don't want to dig through here and find it out, but again, just a quick tip. If you guys are looking for a way to store your soft plastics, especially if you have a lot of baits like this that are all the same, this deep box is a really good way to go. Let me show you this one just so you guys can see it. This is the other crawl style bait that I throw a lot is a Zoom speed crawl. This is that Bourbon Blaze collar. I will tell you, I've never caught a fish on this collar in this bait. Just on those finesse worms. I caught a lot of those on there. And I will, but the 3.5-inch, I think it's 3.5-inch. I'm pretty sure this is a 3-inch version. It's Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl. They make a larger version of this. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's called a Magnum Crawl. But the Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl, amazing bait by Zoom. Andrew, going to fishing tackle swap meet national. I think it's February 5th. I potentially might be over there. Go over there and throw those guys some love. If you guys are if you're wondering what he's talking about, if you're in my area, I think it's Boyd County High School is having a fishing swap meet at their high school. And I think you're right. I shared it the other day, but I am not 100% sure. I can check here, but I'm pretty sure it's the 5th. You're right. But long story short, if you guys want to go over there, it's $5 to get in. There's a lot of vendors and stuff over there. You probably pick up some baits that are fairly cheap, or maybe some custom painted stuff, and as well as helping their fishing team, as well, fish throughout the season. Also, another thing that I want to remind you guys of, coming up in less than a month, February 12th and 13th, which is, again, less than a month, so it's 3 weeks from this weekend, is the Tackle Box Open House in South Point, Ohio. I encourage you guys to come out and spend some time with us and hang out with us. It's like, I think it's like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 the first day, and then it's like 10 to 5 or 10 to 4 on Sunday, something like that. But lot of great deals there at the Tackle Box. Yamamoto baits are way off. 15% usually off any rod or reel that's not already marked down. Greg drowned at the Tackle Box the other day. Guys, I was floored when I walked in the shop there the other day talking to Greg. They have something like 65 NRX Plus rods in stock. 65 of them. That is absolutely unheard of. That's the most NRX rod stock I've ever seen in my life. And he still has more coming. But that open house, again, is the 12th and 13th of February, Valentine's Day weekend there. So have your honey come out and buy you something at the Tackle Box. Again, you're going to find better deals, and you're not going to find them. If he doesn't have them, you're not going to find them, guys. I'm telling you. Vanford's going to be really tough to get this year. The Corrado DC in a 7-gear ratio is pretty much non-existent right now. And there's none supposed to be coming in for February. If you guys can get your hands on those and you want those things, you better get your hands on them again. The Vanford reel, which is here. These things are absolutely, you can't find them. Greg did just get a pile of NRX Plus in. Those things are super high end. You're talking $650 a piece. He's got, again, he's supposed to have 90 some of them in stock eventually, which is crazy. But yes, Andrew, I'm thinking about going over there. If you see me, man, holler at me. I'd love to talk to you over there. I don't know how long I'm going or for how long or who I'm going with or whatever. If Misty's off, maybe she'll go with me, but we'll go over there and see what's up. Also, guys, here in just a few minutes, if you guys are just now joining on, I do have something really cool coming up with the Olatech. They're gonna be, you guys will see it blew up all over my channel. I appreciate it if you guys go over and or share my video, which I'll put it out there eventually. But I do need a little help on that. It'll be on Olatech's Facebook page is where it's actually at. There are actually it's Instagram and YouTube, or Facebook and Instagram, but that'll be coming out soon. But right after this video, you're going to see a link on my Facebook page, and I'm going to try to link it in the it's like the social media side of YouTube, where you guys can potentially win some free stuff. I'm going to be giving away some jigs. I'm going to be giving away some shaky head stuff that I'm pouring. I'm going to give away some JB's fish sauce, 2 different things of JB's fish sauce, and I'm also going to give away a lure lock box. If you're local, I will drop it off to you. If not, I will ship it on my dime to you. So keep an eye out for that, guys. So we're about that 45-minute mark. If you guys have any questions, those are some baits that I absolutely love this year. I threw a ton of, moving baits and stuff like that, and we'll talk about that next week. Again, tomorrow about 8:30 in the morning, you're going to see a new video coming out to me from my YouTube channel, and that is how to clean a Corrado I-Series fishing reel, kind of expanding on my Corrado 200K video I done last year. I'm going to be doing a spinning rod cleaning video here very soon, so stay tuned for that. Also going to be talking about trying to get some other people in here on the show, because I know you guys get tired of just seeing my ugly face talking about fishing, because, hey, I'm no pro. But anyway, we are about 57% uploaded on that video. As far as the YouTube stuff, you'll be seeing that at 8:30 in the morning. It's actually linked to make sure that goes out at 8:30 tomorrow. You'll be seeing that. If it does interest you, take a look at that, share it out, whatever you feel like you need to be doing. And I appreciate it, guys. It has been a great episode just talking fishing. Bassmaster Classic coming up March 4th, 5th, and 6th. Congratulations to those guys making it there. I'm in the process of writing a song right now called The Classic. So wait till you see that one. It's pretty good. Talk about, doesn't matter what happens, you're fishing the Classic, which is amazing. It's the Grand Poobah. It's the Super Bowl bass fishing. It's the biggest bass tournament on the planet. It's where every single person that has ever bass fished on the planet in a tournament dreams to be at one point. There's only 55 anglers or so a year that get the opportunity to fish there. If you make the Bassmaster Classic, the minimum that you can make is $10,000, which is pretty cool. Just getting to fish a Classic, being able to go through that stage, hold up the fish, and as they say, on their motto is, what is it? Big bass, big stage, big dream. I think that's what it is. Pretty amazing. If you've never been to a Bassmaster Classic, definitely recommend you going. Take your family down there. Excellent time for the family. It's going to be kind of crazy this year, I think, with COVID and things. I'm not so sure COVID didn't really extremely break out down there at the Bassmaster Classic in 2020. I went down and we were down there in the Tennessee River, and like 90% of all the pros were sick. There was hundreds of people sick from that place. I would almost guarantee you that's a major issue with COVID there in 2020. Hopefully we get everything straightened out between now and then. Hopefully the weather warming up a little bit will kill some of this crap off, man. Hey, Mark. So I live right in Cold Grove here, obviously. So I'm in the Greenup Pool. The Greenup Pool is really tough to fish. Upriver from us, the Gallipolis Pool, and even farther up from that, like St. Mary's, the St. Mary's is an amazing pool of water up there. I really like that pool. And down below us, the Meldal Pool is really good. And even below that is really good. It's weird that this little section of river kind of sucks. But if you're looking to catch fish on the Ohio River, my advice to you would be look for rocks, look for timber. And if you can find grass, which is non-existent on our pool, fish that outside of the edge of the grass, especially when it gets into the summertime. Mouths of creeks are extremely good places to catch bass on the Ohio River, especially in the spring and in the fall. If you can get up in creeks in the fall and really early in the spring, is a very good time to do so. White spinnerbait with a willow leaf is amazing on there. A small swim bait, 3 inches or smaller, is really good. Probably a 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce head is going to be phenomenal for that. Buzz bait is really good. 1.5 KVD is phenomenal on the river. I've caught some on a rattle trap, but if I were going to throw 3 baits on the Ohio River to get bit every time, anytime I'm out, it would be a KVD 1.5, any kind of 1.5 bait, just a square bill crankbait. I like, it's called, I think it's called yellow back shad. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that. So it's maybe it's silverback shad. It looks like sexy shad, but it doesn't have a huge yellow stripe down. It's kind of fake yellow line. I think it's called blueback shad. I think it's what it's called. But it has like a bluish gray back. I caught a lot of fish on that this year. If I were going to throw 3 baits, it would be that, a buzz bait, and a spinner bait. Those 3 baits right there are going to get bit a lot. And a crawdad. If you're gonna have some kind of pitching bait, I would throw a speed crawl, a 3-inch Jackal chunk crawl, any kind of chigger crawl is really good. Any kind of imitation for an actual crawdad or a crawfish, those are phenomenal places to start. But fish high percentage places like points, channel swing banks that are deep right off of the bank. They're a really good spot, especially if it's summertime. Gives them a place to get out of the current. Eddies, some current breaks, something like a rock that juts out that cuts some of the eddy off. And if you have graphs, find rocks that are submerged, a really good place. But look for hard bottoms and cover, and that's going to be the best place to catch them. Again, 3 baits I'll never go without fishing in the Ohio River: spinner bait, buzz bait, and a 1.5 crankbait. Bill Akers is 100% when he says that. Can be your friend or the devil. Current is the main factor. I'm 100% with that. You can go out on the High River sometimes, and man, 2 years ago, they had a bluegrass festival down on the Ohio River, and I went down to have some adult beverages and listen to some bluegrass in my pleasure boat, threw the anchor out, and I've never in my entirety of my life ever seen that much current being pulled through the Ohio River. I have no clue. I'm talking about it was ripping. The water was not super high. There must have been a bunch of water upriver, but I'm telling you what, like, I jumped off the front of my boat and had to have somebody unhook the actual anchor to come and pick me up because I couldn't swim fast enough to get to the boat. But I've also been out there times where you could, pull a trolling motor up on your boat and set in the exact same spot for an hour and never move any place. But he is 100% true when it comes to the current. If they're not ripping water or there's no current at all, it's really tough to catch your Ohio River bass. Yeah, so past the Greenup Dam, which is the Meldal pool, really good in there. You have to be careful down that way, especially if you get up into the where the headwaters is there of the dam, or not the headwaters, but the I guess would be the tailwaters of the dam there. Um, there's a lot of rocks and stuff there. If you don't know what you're doing, you can, wreck your boat and absolutely potentially kill yourself. So make sure you are familiar with that area. But the riprap that's along the Greenup Dam on the lower side of the Greenup Pool dam is amazing. Sometimes it's hit or miss. You're right. You can go down there and catch 5-pound smallmouth, or you can go down there and catch all the gar you want. There's no in between. Excuse me. So yeah, so hopefully that helps you out, Mark. And Bill, like I said, Bill's 100% right. If you have current, you're going to catch them probably, especially if you look in those spots I'm telling you. Rocks, timber, and grass. I would go with rocks first, and then timber, and then grass last, because grass in my area is very, very slim, very tough to find. But when you do find it, it's usually pretty good. You usually find some eelgrass. Very rarely, I think I did find some. There was some coontail a couple years ago that I found. And hydrilla this past year, I ran into a patch of hydrilla. Fished the fire out of the hydrilla, never caught a single fish out of it. But I think it was due to the bottom structure. The bottom was really sandy. Wasn't much there for a hold to fish. I was amazed. I was amazed the hydrilla was even there. So, long story short, guys, thanks for sticking around with this episode of On Another Line Live. Make sure you guys are checking back with me here very soon. It'll probably be a little bit later this afternoon or this evening or tomorrow when I share this stuff. Because I want to make sure that I get everybody out there, that is able to enter the thing. But I'm going to be giving away some stuff. My, my thanks to you guys. Some lure lock stuff, some JB's fish sauce, some jiggling stuff that I poured. And if you guys are going to that swap meet over there in Ashland at the Boyd County High School, I'll probably see you there. And again, I think Andrew was right. I think it's the 5th of February, which is like not this Saturday. That's 2 weeks from this Saturday coming up. It is $5 to get in. If you're just going there to check it out, you can find some new baits and stuff there. You might see me there. Let's see. Belterra Casino lot. Is that in Cincinnati? Is that where that's at? I'm not sure, man. I think I would know. Yeah. Oh, that's down toward Indiana. That's down in. Would that be Tanner's Creek down that area? Yeah, if it's the same thing there, Mark. If it's Tanner's Creek area, shoot me a message, either on Facebook or whatever before you fish down that way. I can give you a couple places to start. I had a boater, man, and he was an amazing guy. There was this. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. Don't ask, don't tell policy. We were fishing a tournament, and this joker, man, hit this freaking beaver dam on pad in a brand new skeeter and skipped up in to look like somebody's freaking farm pond. I don't know what it was, man, but we went full send that day, and he absolutely smoked him up in there. I caught 5 fish. He had 5 fish. He finished like 3rd in the tournament. I finished like 9th out of the entire. But I'm telling you, we fished this same bank 20 times, and it seems like every time we go around it, we catch fish. But I am not kidding you, man. We freaking jumped the beaver dam to get up in there. It was nuts. Like, one of those things that you're like, things that make you go, I don't think I would have done it, but paid off. We got paid. So anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for joining this episode of On Another Line Live. I apologize for, it looks like the version of this, the quality is terrible, man. I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe it's because I'm uploading this YouTube video. But anyway, I apologize for that. But we'll be seeing you guys very, very soon here on Another Line Live next week. I do have a video coming out tomorrow about how to clean a new fishing reel how to clean a fishing reel, which is this iSeries. I'm going to do a YouTube video on that, but keep an eye out for my giveaway that will be posted on YouTube and and Facebook, as well as I'm going to need your help to win the Olatech Video of the Year contest, which is going to be coming out later this evening. I did get I submitted 2 videos, a raw video, which was unedited, and an edited video. And both of those finished in the top 6 of anybody that actually sent those information in, which was phenomenal. I'm super happy. I got a potential to win 14. I got a potential to win $1,000 in Olatech bucks, which is crazy. So need your help with that. I'm coming up very, 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 very soon. Randy, Have an amazing night, buddy. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the support. It means a lot. Mark, you too, man. You've been really helpful messaging today. Andrew, I'll see you. Bill Akers, hope you guys are having a great day out there. And with that being said, we're at that 1 hour mark. If you guys are at the Bassmaster Classic, we'll see you there. If you guys will be in Lake Fork in April, right after Easter, see you there. Again, if you guys are interested in doing helping me out with the Angler Challenge, which is going to benefit you guys, definitely check that out. And we will see you guys very soon. That's going to be coming up in April-ish. And we will see you guys then. But we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same bat channel here in the On Another Line studios, a.k.a. my basement. As Mark Shannon says, tight lines. And if you guys can get out there and lean on them, do so. We'll see you next time on Another Line.